Alright guys, this should be pretty straightforward. Alright, but I'm also going to ask you a couple other questions. Alright, number one.
It is composite.
Yes, it's composite. Number two, composite. Number three,
Prime.
prime. What about 413? What do you think?
It's composite because we added the number that equals 8.
And what does that mean? No. Listen, that's a good mistake though. Listen, to tell if it's, when you add the digits, it's got to be divisible by 3 or 9. That makes it divisible by that, okay?
It's prime.
Right, I'm looking at it right now. 413 is kind of a tricky one, right? I am not seeing anything right off my head that would say that goes into 413.
Nothing goes on the 13.
Well, no, it has nothing to do with the 13 now. The other thing you could do is another trick for 4 is to look at the last 2 digits. If it's divisible by 4, then it's also divisible by 4, right? But do you guys remember the numbers that I told you that are tricky sometimes for kids are like 13, 17, and 19. Is everybody with me on this? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 413 and I'm going to divide it by 13, 17, and 19 to see. Is everybody with me? Because I don't want to be wrong, right? And if I don't divide it by 13, 17, or 19, then it's probably not. All right? So let me take this.
Yikes.
The computer. Thank you.
Oh, 10.
All right, so hold on. All right, so again, 413 now. I'm trying to figure out if it's divisible by something. So I'm going to try 7 also. I'm going to divide this by 7. Everybody look and see. 7 goes into 41 how many times?
5 times.
5 times.
Which is 35.
Which gives me
6.
6 left over, right?
Oh, 8. I mean 9. 9. 7 goes into 63 9 times.
And we say it's 50 what? Yeah, that's kind of, so is it prime?
Yeah.
No, it's actually what?
Composite.
It's actually composite, right? So again, that was very tricky. Does everybody see that? Right, so again, I didn't, yeah, there's always going to be one that you're going to have to think about.
Is
All right.
test like as long as this?
Can we just go through the review? Stop worrying about the test. If you can do the review, you can do the test. All right, but I'm asking you, does everybody understand about number 4 now?
No.
It was,
How do you use 15?
7 times 59 is 413. Wow. You with me now? Right. So I said originally it looks like it's prime because no number was easy to divide into it. So at first I was looking at 13, 17, and 19, but then I also thought about 7 is sometimes a common problem, right? And then 7, 11. Those are kind of tricky ones. You with me on this now, right? So I kind of got lucky just trying 7 because it was easier than trying 19 or 17 or 13, which would not have worked. Okay? So that's composites. Now, do you remember the prime factorization for 81? I would just break it down to what?
9 and 9 and then the 9
Yes.
step root cut into 3 and 3 and 3 and 3. So it'd be 3 to the.
You're awesome, girl. 3 to the 4th. 3 to the 4th. Avery, tell me about 70.
Oh, you can just break it down into 7 and 10.
And then?
And then it's
I mean, 10 goes down to 5 and 2.
Exactly.
And
So
then 7 2.
yeah. So the answer would be
7 times 2 times.
now. You still have to do it that way. Right? All right. What?
Can I do the next one?
Yeah, we're just going in order. Come on.
Okay.
So.
That's 11 times.
Wow, that's good.
What?
11 times 12. Not many people know that.
4 times 3.
Good.
The 3 is, and then it's 2 times 2. And
Good.
so 2. And that's 2 to the second times 3 times 11.
That's perfect. Does everybody remember that? Right. What?
I'm just saying for the next part. But you're not there yet.
Carter, here we go. 250. How do I break that down, buddy?
50 times 5.
And then what?
You can break down, and then circle 5, so then 25 times 2, we'll break down 50, and then circle the 2, and then 5 times 5, and then you circle both 5. So then it would be 2 times 5 to the third.
Good job, buddy. Anybody have any issues? I'm just going right around the room. Now, I don't want you to be able to just look at that and tell me the answer. Hey, do you remember how to tell 16, 20?
4.
4 goes into it, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to remember, we're going to put this here.
Yeah.
So how many times does 4 go into 16?
It goes into 64 and then 24 6 times. And you do that for 2, so 2, 2, 3, and then that's it. 4 times 2 times 3.
No, 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 no.
Oh, my bad.
Yes, you did the least. You did the least common multiple. All right. Yes. Gavin, what's up with you?
Okay. Wait, so the answer is 8. Yeah.
What about 12 and 25? What we call
Okay, so
do they go into 12 and 25?
it's relatively.
Very good. Right, relatively prime.
For some reason though, I wrote like on the quiz I was supposed to write like 1 or something. No, you're supposed to write neither. I wrote relatively prime, and then she wrote on my thing like 1.
Well, actually, relatively prime means what? It means 1.
So either 1 is good for you.
Yeah, okay. Some teachers have a preference. What? Yes. Right. So we're just going to verify that. Does 12 go into 50? How many times? He's good. He's just made a mistake. It does not. So now think back. What else goes into 36, 48, 50? 2. Let's do that. 2 goes into 30. And then. So. The answer is now, guess what?
GCF, does it have to?
GCF is common. That's how I remember that.
So it has to go into all of
It
them.
has to go into all of them.
And then least common multiples 2 is the 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. That's what we're getting ready to do right now. What?
I remember like something you said like that was said like if it goes into 2 of them. So
That's least common.
it has to go into all of them for
Yep.
grace.
That's right. All right. So most people can tell me what the least common multiple is for 4 and 10.
Oh, is it 20?
It is 20. You don't have to do any work for that if you know.
If you do it.
Well,
You know,
if you just list the multiples 4, 8, 12, 16, 20.
yeah. So you have to like find the number.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the other way is, you know,
can do like the greatest common factor we do.
Yeah.
And then multiply all the numbers you get.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
so then it would be 4 times 1 times
Yeah.
I did 2.
Yeah, I did.
5. Oh, boy. All right, 6 and 15. Where are we at? I think we're over here. Thomas, 6 and 15. What goes into both of those terms? What number goes into 6? 3 does. Very good. So when you put 3 there, off to the side, what do you end up with?
2 and 5.
What do you end up with?
2 and 5.
Exactly right. Good job, buddy. So let's put a 3 down. And I end up with a... Now, is there anything else?
No.
No. So now what do I do with those 3 numbers?
Multiply them.
That's right. So the answer was what?
30.
Yes. And if you were just able to look at that and say it's 30, you're in good shape. All right. Now we've got to keep moving, guys. All right. 12, 18, and 27. We are at... Yes.
Yeah,
What's common?
3 can go to.
Yep, so let's do 3, and that would give me 4, 6, and 9. Now what?
LCM equals 7.
Nope. This is
Oh, yeah, you can write those down.
Yep, what could go into 2 of them?
2?
Yep. And then what?
3.
Yes, sir.
So you go 3 times 3, 1, so 3 times 2 is 6. And then you do 3 times 3 is 9 times 2 is 18. So you do 6 times 18. And that is 108.
Not 206.
I got one.
You can do it again.
I forgot to.
That's why you're supposed to be listening as we go through the problem. Some of you think you're right. That's what's hurting you. Instead of listening and paying attention and make sure what you're saying is correct.
No, before I was listening to that, but I did it by myself.
Yeah, but you see, you can make a change. Make a change.
Oh, I see what I did wrong. I accidentally thought a 2 was a 3.
I didn't see. I thought the number had to go in every single line. I forgot it had to be like 2.
All right, Jack, you're up now. You're reducing 12/14.
The first one's 6 over 7.
Yes, very good.
And,
Hold on. That's it.
it's a sphere through 2 and equivalent fractions.
Oh.
So, and then you can times it, she said. So, by the number. So, I'm going to do.
Now, to me, it was always easy to add zeros. Like, that's the same as 60 over 70.
Wait, what? Because you just do it times 2.
I always just do it by 2, times it by 2.
That's a good idea, too.
Divide it by
Yes.
2. So,
Just add zeros.
I
I used to get mad. I'll tell you one thing I used to do when I was...
Well, that one there.
Hey. Listen now. When I was doing this, I was a little kind of mischievous sometimes. And on my test, when they made me write equivalent fractions because I thought it was dumb, I'd put like 20 zeros on the top and 20 zeros on the top. So like math teacher, you have to count all the zeros. So you could just you could do 500 zeros if you want.
So for 60, 70, you could do like.
As long as, like for example, you see what I'm saying? Like I could do this.
Like 60 million.
But would it have to be like a 6 or 7 number? No, or you could just do 12 or 11.
It could be. I would do that.
That's
Wait, what if it was 13
It's the same.
and
They're
18?
equivalent.
You could do 13 and 18.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make you count too.
You better not.
Or you
I
could
have
just do it times 11. What happens if like they're not like a
You do times like
or like simplest form? Like.
Well, let me get there. I'm on 16 right now. Go back, and let me catch up with you. All right, everybody's on 16. So, 2/3. Chloe, what am I doing on 2/3? I could make that what?
You could make that
Too slow, girl. 20 over 30.
200.
Or what? Or what?
Or 200 over 30?
Yeah, that's 200 over what?
300.
That's what I thought you said. That's it. You can make it 4 over 6 or 6 over 9. I don't really care.
40 over the next one, could you do like
40 over 60.
Next one, could you do like 110?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the easiest one. Right? Now, 11 over 22, most people just say that's the same as 1/2, but you don't have to. You could say 110 over 220.
I did 220 over 400.
Yeah. Right? It's easy. That was easy. All right, let's take a look now at, now you have to simplify. All right? So, Ava, what are we doing with 20 over 24?
2.
So that would be 10 over 12. Then what? Which would make it?
5 over 6.
Yes, good job. All right, 19. Claverne.
Oh, that's me.
19. You're doing 19.
I said Claverne, and I'm not Claverne. Well,
I know. I don't know what Claverne is.
Claverne, Dalton's Peepaw, and Tyler's Max.
Go. Go. You're up. What is 15 over 35?
3.
What is it?
83.
3 isn't going to 35. Now listen, though. They both end in 5. So they have to be divisible by what? If they both end in 5, it's got to be divisible by what? Yes. There you go. That's a little trick to that. So if I divide by 5, you get what? Yes, that's better. 20. All right. Now, on this one, you can add the digits here. What's 5 plus 7?
Isn't 12?
12. So that's divisible by 3. Add 9 and 3. 12. So it's divisible by 3. So we can divide by 3.
That only works at 3 and 9.
Yes.
I didn't even realize that.
So if I divide by 3, Carter, what do I get?
Um.
Come on, put your hands down. We're just going in order.
Okay, so. Would be 19.
Good job.
93.
Over. Yes. 19 over 31. All right, here we go. 21. Aiden, I want you to take a look at that. Tell me if those are.
Wait, what was the next 3? 19 over 31, yeah.
All right.
That's not equivalent.
Now, how do we know we're not equivalent? Well, one thing is you could reduce the fraction, but remember, if we wanted to, we could just do our cross multiplying, right?
Yeah, so I forgot to do that.
Yeah, that's 32, right?
Yeah.
And then this.
40. I'm 45.
Right. So are they equivalent?
No.
No. Right. If they were equivalent, those would be equal. I think that's the easiest way.
That's what I did for the next 2.
All right. So now, to me, also, if you reduce the fraction, all right, sometimes that's easier than cross multiplying. Do you understand? I don't feel like multiplying 21 times 14. Do you agree with that? And I don't really feel like doing 6 times 49. However, I do know that 2 goes into 6 over 14 as 3/7. Does everybody agree with that? And 7 goes into 21 3 times, and 7 goes into 49. So now they have to be what? Equal. Do you see that? I don't really like multiplying. Although you'd get the same answer, right?
I cross multiplied 6 times 49.
6 times 49.
Yeah, now I did 14 times 21. And I got 3 out of 3.
No, you made a mistake. Try 14 times 21 again. All right?
Mr.
Yes.
Are you able to, like, when you reduce them, are you able to reduce it by a different number?
No.
It has to be the same number?
No, you mean for both fractions?
Yeah, like if, no, I'm saying if you can reduce that by 2,
No, just
but then
reduce
reduce
it.
that by 7.
Here's what I'm trying to tell you. What did I reduce the first fraction by?
2.
What did I reduce the second fraction by? So what's the answer to your question? Listen, that's what I'm trying to tell you, buddy. You see what I mean? I'm not trying to give you a hard time. You know that.
Yeah.
Right? I'm saying you have to make up your own, make your own judgments. All right? That's what I'm trying to show you. All right? So 22 is equal. Now, does everybody see how I wouldn't like to cross multiply on this? I don't want to do 36 times 15. It's not that it's that hard. I just don't feel like doing it. I can reduce the fraction. I can reduce that by 3, right? If I reduce that by 3, I end up with 16 over what? 5, right? And if I reduce this by 2, I end up with 18 over 5. So, no, they're not equal.
Oh, so they both have to go.
Yeah, they have to reduce the same exact thing. What?
On the test, can we put a happy face or a sad face or just yes?
I did.
Yes, no is always better.
I always put smiley face, smiley face.
Mr. Shaw, can we do like this
Yes.
and put the happy faces in front?
Okay, so now we're going to write it as a mixed number. 23/7 is the same. I don't remember where we left off.
Oh, I'll start it.
No, it was. Let's just start. It's Gavin's
Gavin, turn. You're up for 24, Gavin. What's that?
7 goes into 23 3 times with 2 left over for it. Yeah.
Very good. Bradley, you're up for number 25.
Number 23.
You're up, Bradley, 25.
So I have a question.
What? Come on, buddy, tell
Actually,
me.
never mind.
Which
No,
one?
the one that Gavin just did.
Are you okay with that?
I'm do 7. Just do how many times it goes into it. Oh, never mind. I got it.
Yeah, I knew you did.
So, 6 times 5 is 30. So it can go 5 times.
Right?
5 is 30.
That's exactly right. 5 and 5, 6. Lady?
Okay, so
Now we're going to have to write it as an improper.
so 5 times 5 is 25. With 3 left over is 28. So it would be 28 over 5.
Very good. Thomas? And then?
45 plus 2. 47
Very, very good. All right. Now for 28, you should remember 3/5. 3/5 is what decimal? Do you remember?
169.
Close. That would be
0.67.
0.615. 0.615.
Wait. Oh,
I can make it out of 10.
Oh, 6.6.
Yeah, it is point.
You do times 6. Yeah.
That's it.
Usually I kind of think out of 100.
Yeah, you could do out of 100. It would be 60 out of 100.
Would you accept that?
I would prefer that you put 0.6.
How'd you get that? How'd you get
6/10.
Oh, so you.
Oh.
You just multiply it by 29. Could you do like 2 times 2?
It's already out of 100.
Excellent.
11/100 is what decimal? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
No, I
the,
thought I was just trying to get it to like 100.
yes, or 10.
Okay,
Or
that makes
thousands.
sense.
Now, 53/8 is something that's, how many times is 8 going to 53? 6 times with how much left over? So we have 6 and 5/8. So the answer is going to be 6 point something, right?
We know.
So now we have to
Oh, yeah, we
convert.
have to remember what 5 is.
Do you remember what 5/8
Oh,
was?
it's 7.625.
Very good, girl. 0.625. All right, 6.625. If you forgot, you would just have to divide, right? 8 goes
That's
into
what I
50.
did. I knew it started with a 6. I forgot.
Wait, what would you do to divide it? Oh, you just do 8 divided by 53. Come on, guys. Have two questions. Wait, Mr. Scout.
What?
Did you divide it by point, or by 50 or by 53?
It's 5 points. Okay.
Wait, but wouldn't it be like 53? Like, what do you divide?
Yeah, I did make a mistake. It is not out of 50. Thank you, Gavin. It's out of what? Oh, no. I didn't make a mistake. I'm sorry. Look what I did, Gavin. I'm daydreaming. This right here is 6 5/8, right?
Yeah.
So I just left the 6 alone, and then I did 8 goes into 5.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
You with me on that, right?
Yeah.
I just think that's a little bit easier. All right, girls. All right. So now 5/9. Anytime you divide by 9, that's when you get repeated numbers. Yes. So there's a shortcut to that. So that's 0.5 with a bar over it.
I put 0.55.
With a bar, yeah, 0.55 with a bar over the 5/5 is the same thing.
Say we don't remember that, what would we do?
Divide.
So we would divide 5 by 9. Okay, thank you.
Right? And then that's 45, and guess what?
It never ends.
I remember that from last year because
Yeah.
it was all those things.
Yeah, anytime you have repeated numbers, there's got to be a 9 involved. All right? Now, let's go. Moving on. 32. Now, how many times does 3 go into 7?
Twice.
2, right? So this is 2 1/3. I hope everybody in here now, I need you to commit 1/3. What is 1/3?
Oh.
Yes, 2.3 repeating. Very smart. All right, because 1/3 is the same as, guess what? 3/9. There you go. I want you to know 1/3 is 3 repeating. All right, if you don't remember, then Aiden, what can we do?
Divide.
There you go, buddy. Or 33. I can reduce that fraction. What can I do to 9 over?
You can reduce it by 5.
You mean reduce it by 9 to get 5?
Yeah, reduce it by 9.
You with me? So if I divide by 9, I get 1 over 5.
Yeah.
And 1/5 is the same as? How many tenths is that?
I got 2 tenths, so that's 0.2.
There you go, man. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's knock
I'll
out.
show you this one.
Well, we already did this one, didn't we? 1/3 is the same as what?
0.3 with a hat.
All right, now we're on the next problem. It's just reducing the or changing a decimal to a fraction. Carly, what would I do?
So you would do 55
Over,
over
and then reduce it by what?
5. And the page is 5.
Yeah, because you're dividing by 5, right?
Mm.
Now, everybody should know what 0.75 is a fraction. Everybody tell me.
Yeah, 3/4.
So it would be negative 3/4, right?
Yeah, -3.
Is everybody happy with that?
Yeah. Wait, since there's a 9 before the decimal.
So it'd be 9.
Yeah, it would be a mixed number.
Yes. 9 and 245 over what?
Would it be 1,000?
Yes, it would be. Everybody with me?
Yeah.
Now, I have to reduce 245 over 1,000. Obviously, it can be reduced by 5, right? So if I divide by 5, 9 goes into 24. I'm sorry, 5 goes into 24 with an extra 9. I said 5, and that's a 4. So now 5 goes into 45 how many times? Yes. And 5 goes into 10 how many times? With how many zeros? 2 zeros. You see why that is? Tell me.
I didn't get there on 35.
All right, let's take a look at 35 again for a second. And if you're not sure, let me know.
There you
That makes sense, right?
go.
Okay. If your soccer team's won 16 out of 40 games, what's your team's winning rate? So you won how many? 16 out of what? And if I reduce that,
Oh, you.
that becomes what?
No, now we have to find the losing rate.
Yeah, I know, but what's 4 out of 10 the same as?
Is it 4 over 5? 2 over 5.
Yes. So if they win 2 out of 5,
Then they lose 3 out of
that's right.
They're very good.
Okay. Are those numbers equal?
Yes or no?
No, right? Because 4 over 25 is the same as 16 over 100, right? And 16 over 100 is the same as 0.16. So am I good with that? So is it a yes or no?
No.
Now,
No.
the next one, they're trying to trick you.
Mr. Sean, did you go back to 38 first?
Oh, I don't.
I just reduced 16/40ths.
Oh, yeah.
You with me?
Yeah, then
And if I win 2 out of 5, that means I lose what?
3 out of 5.
There you go. Okay, what, brother? All right, so 1/2 and 0.05. Most people make a mistake on that, Bradley. Are those the same? 1/2 is what decimal? Right, 0.5. See how they're tricking you, right? So you got to be careful. 1/2 is 0.5. 0.5 is not the same as 0.05. Right? Now, 18 over 25, we got to figure out what that is, right?
Divide.
You could divide it out, but to me, I would get out of 100.
Oh, yeah.
So I can multiply by what?
4.
Yes, multiplying by 4 is much easier. Mm-hmm. So that'd be 1 and.
So
Do you understand that?
yeah, I do.
And then what decimal would that be?
1.72.
So they are what?
Yes, they're 8.
Did it, guys? Equality. All rocks are
They're not equal.
Is that
Mr.
it?
Shower, all rocks
Yeah.
equal.
Okay, so now listen. I'm trying to decide, do you guys want a blank copy?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that would be a good idea. So hold on, let me pause this.